Welcome to the Six Figure Business Masterclass for this evening. It's such a pleasure as always to be here with you. Welcome. Let's make it start. So it's all about turning your skills, whatever skills they are, whether they're skills where you're doing things like crafting, and so you have products, or you're providing services. I spoke to someone recently about doing valeting a car. Valeting cars is his thing, so whatever skills you have, okay? So there could be skills as well, such as therapist or counseling or anything. And you want to use your life experiences, your stories, your spiritual wisdom, your self-help knowledge, and you would love to support other people with that stuff, okay? And turn it into 5 to 10K months every single month. So you're transforming lives, you're making a difference, and you're making yourself an extra stream of income. That is what you would like to do. Well, in which case you are in the right place, because we're going to talk a lot about that this evening. And I'm looking forward to sharing some ideas with you. Use them. They will, if you actually use them, they will shift things for you. So use them. Let me definitely get this going. Okay, so let's start. So who is this for? It is for ambitious spiritual people. You feel called to make more of a difference in the world, okay? You want to make money doing what you love. We've already said this. You would like to create generational wealth. You realize that multiple streams of income is somewhat impossible when you're stuck in a job where your income is generally fixed or capped. And so you want to do either a side hustle or some kind of, something. You want to add something to your life in terms of income, but also in terms of fulfillment. Okay, let's be clear. You also want to be quite fulfilled. So I'm not really into people just about money, because if that's all you want to do, you might as well stay with a job you do not enjoy. But we want to be fulfilled, and we would like to make money. And there's always a way, if you are actually willing to say yes to yourself. Okay, so you want to be the way you show up for your family. You're kind of tired of the same patterns showing up in your family lines. You want something different. You want to break free. You want more. And you're finally ready to admit to the fact that that's what you want. You have created some success. Of course you have. But you know that there's so much more available to you, and you would like to experience all that's available. There is a bit of a warrior, a fighter spirit within you. It might be buried a little bit at the moment, because you may have thought that the fact that you're such a fighter makes you a little bit greedy, makes you proud, makes you a malcontent. And as a spiritual person, there's a part of you that thinks that you're supposed to be satisfied, to be content. No, I disagree. So if there's a part of you, inside of you, that beneath all the trying to appear good, nice, kind, spiritual person to everybody else, if there's a part of you that has always known that you're meant for more, I'd say yes. Say yes to yourself, okay? Say yes to yourself. Stop putting everybody else's agenda for you first, because now you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling unfulfilled, you're feeling fed up, because that's what you've been doing. You know you're meant for more, okay? So it's time to start saying yes to you. You've tried to follow all of the rules of what a good, nice, kind, spiritual person should be like. And in doing so, you've buried your edge. You've become kind of wimpy as you try to be what you thought other people expected of you. And now you want to find you again. You want to, yes, you are a practical person, but you're also visionary. You would like to put those two parts of you together, rather than feeling like you have to bury the more visionary, more spiritual side of you. You want to be all that you can be, okay? You're done with hiding parts of yourself. You're done with being wishy-washy about it as well, because that's the thing. Sometimes one of the reasons why you hide away from who you are is this feeling that if you start overly talking about your spiritual side, that you'll become wishy-washy, like a lot of spiritual people out there who just talk a lot about manifesting this and that and the other, but never actually do anything. You don't want to be that person, because yes, you are a responsible person. You have bills that need to be paid, all of that. So you do want to combine your masculine and your feminine energies into the most effective version of you. That is possible, okay? You do not have to go too far towards some kind of super spiritual side, and you don't have to go so far to the super practical side that you kill off whichever way you're killing off you. No, we want you to show up, you with your message, with your abilities, your skills, your stories, your experiences are enough to create 5 to 10K months in your own business or side hustle, doing what you want to do, if you're willing to say yes to you, okay? If you're willing to stop being so afraid of what people will think of you, if you show up as who you feel called to be. Because yeah, if you're going to make the money you would like to make, this cannot be some kind of half in, half out kind of thing. No, this is you fully showing up. Okay. How do I learn how not to care about what other people think of me? It's a choice. It is a choice. Okay. It is a choice. And it's also putting yourself in an environment where, because if the only people you're surrounded by are people who are ultimately, they may not consciously be doing this to you, but if they generally they think the same, they act the same, and you're trying to break free, and that's the only environment of people around you, then it's going to be hard. Not impossible, but hard. But you come and work with a coach like me, or something where you're being encouraged, you're being, at least, especially at the beginning bit, you're being encouraged, you're being supported, you're being empowered. You suddenly realize that you're not the only person that thinks the way that you do. And so then it becomes easier to stand against the tide. But yeah, sometimes it's difficult. There's no lie about it. When you are seeking to break free from the normal way people around you have been doing things, it is going to feel a little bit stretchy. It's going to stretch you. It's going to stretch you. Most people do not do it. Most people would rather the safety of knowing that everybody likes them than the actual safety of being your own master, being your own boss, taking responsibility for your vision and putting it out there. So yes, you can learn to, and it is ultimately a choice, but it's a choice we can all make. Okay. We all, even when I started in business, coming out of pharmacy, it was really difficult for me to actually say I was a coach as opposed to be a pharmacist. Pharmacists felt more solid and felt more real. And in fact, nobody expected me ever to be able to be in business at all. Okay. So I did feel, and I used to hide it almost like, oh yeah, I'm kind of doing this little thing over here, and just kind of play it down until I realized no, because that energy, when you're coming into the marketplace, you're trying to sell your services, your products, your whatever, and there's an energy of hiding, then people, they don't understand why you're hiding. What they sense is that there's something wrong, and so they run away from buying anything from you. They don't even understand why they don't want to buy anything from you. There's just a sense that something's not right here. So you can't afford to come into the marketplace hiding. Okay. I was there a few years ago, and over this last few years, I've lost my confidence to not care. I get it. I get it. I get it. In fact, you are who this masterclass is for in some ways, because yeah, you're disappointed. You're disappointed that you did try and things didn't quite work out the way you wanted them to work out. You thought you'd be further along by now, and still you're meant for more, but yes, your confidence has taken a beating. And so you're procrastinating, you're kind of dabbling a little bit, if you're really honest. And if I came and looked into what's going on with you, the chances are you are procrastinating, dabbling a bit, because there's a part of you that is quite nervous about showing up. We're going to talk about some stuff here today, which will support you if you are willing to take it on board. But again, I would say to you as well, don't try to do this stuff alone. If it hasn't worked so far, you're lacking something in terms of strategy, or you're lacking something in terms of your internal world. Whichever way, you trying to do it on your own hasn't worked, it's time you get support. Okay. If you're on Instagram, you're speaking to me right now, there's in the link in my bio, I do a consultation. Let's talk about working together. Okay. That would be your next step. Let's just be blunt about it, because yeah, you can keep doing what you're doing. It's not getting you where you want to go. So you want to move forward faster, I'd strongly urge you to get support. Okay. You need to, this is for people who are ready to actually fight for the life that you want, whether you're in business already, or you're struggling and you're not quite getting where you'd like to get in terms of the business income, or you're seeking to transition into business from a job, a career, or whatever, and you're ready now to move things, then this masterclass is for you. Listen to what I have to say here. But I would also invite you very strongly to have a conversation with me in the Remove the Blocks consultation. Okay. Because yes, I have worked with a lot of people. I myself had to overcome a lot of my internal craziness, and the physical things. Okay. So this isn't just about internal craziness. It's also about making sure that you have a good strategy in place to grow your business. I put this on my story earlier today, that business growth is actually quite predictable. It's as predictable as a job. Okay, it really is. The thing is, if you do not have a good strategy in place, and you don't know that you don't, or that you have all of these internal craziness, that you are literally sabotaging yourself and you don't realize it. But if you will put yourself in a position or an environment, or work with someone that will support you in seeing where you're getting in your own way, then business growth is predictable. It isn't. I don't know. We've kind of been taught. Most of us have been conditioned and taught to believe that most people have to fail at business and this and yeah, you know what? Most people do because they believe that they're going to. Okay, we are incredibly powerful beings, and for the most part, we end up believing nonsense. And then we make it a self-fulfilling prophecy, but think it's because that's just the way it is. When actually, no, you believed it. And so you started acting as though it was inevitable that you would fail. And so you failed. Basically, not necessarily because you had to. And for the most part, you can't even see that you're doing it. And that's why, again, working with someone else will support you. But anyway, let's get into this because I'm already talking about all kinds of things. You need to know this. The marketplace is waiting for you. Your people, the ones that you are called to serve, are best served by you. Okay, there is room for you in the marketplace. I don't care how much you think everybody else is doing exactly the same thing you want to do. The truth of the matter is that there are 8 billion people on the planet, and if they were all being served, then I would believe that the marketplace was too full for you. But they're not all being served, so therefore you can find, especially if you're a service provider, coach, healer, teacher, that kind of thing. How many do you need to actually make 5 to 10K every single month? Not that many people. Not that many people at all. So you know what? Out of 8 billion, if you had 20 clients, you'd be fine. You would make a great living if you do the things that I ask you to do. Okay? Now, so there is room for you. All you need to do is wake up and actually commit. Your vision is your permission. You don't need to wait for anybody else to give you approval. You don't need to wait for anything else. Your vision is your permission. You are capable of your calling. So who am I? I am an unfulfilled pharmacist. Okay. So I did do the whole pharmacy. I did the whole going through college, did everything that I needed to do to become what they told me would make me happy and fulfilled. It didn't make me happy and fulfilled. Okay. It got me so far, but it also meant that in order to carry on doing that, I had to sacrifice some of the things that were more important to me. And I didn't want to. So I got to the point, finally, after bankruptcy, after 4 years of depression, I got to the point where I finally started actually taking dominion over my own income. I'm not going to pretend it's been the easiest journey. No, it hasn't. I was trained. I was programmed, completely conditioned into being an employee, just the same as most people listening in to me. So there was a whole lot of untraining and retraining and reprogramming and deprogramming that needed to happen in order for me to actually be a businesswoman. And it took me a heck of a lot longer than most people. Okay. Because maybe, because when I remember saying this to my family first about starting in business, and they were just like, oh, you're not that kind of person. Maybe it's true. I wasn't that kind of person because I was programmed not to be that kind of person. So but it was my determination. It was my determination to become the person who got her dreams. That's what made the difference for me. And it's what will make the difference for you too. It did take me to bankruptcy and 4 years of depression to get this determined, I must admit, to finally get to, and my 3 children, my 3 amazing daughters. I have to show you a picture of them now. Although this is not actually the most recent picture of them, but I'll share this with you so that you can have a look at this if you're watching it on. Let's see if you can see this. Let me see. You can see my 3 amazing daughters. This is when I woke up. I gave birth to these 3 amazing girls. Okay. And I suddenly realized I did not want to tell them that they had no choice over what they did for an income. I wanted to show them that they could do whatever they wanted. I wanted to show them, not just talk about it. And, even in the really difficult days, and there were some really difficult days, I'm not going to lie, it was that kept me going. The idea of having to tell them that I had failed. And not only had I failed, I quit, because the only way you fail is if you quit. That I quit. That was not acceptable to me. So I didn't allow it to be my story. It doesn't have to be yours. Okay. So let's carry on here. I got serious. And so I worked with a coach because I realized I'd spent years, decades becoming a pharmacist. It was going to, and I'd paid out a heck of a lot to become a pharmacist. But when I was looking at my business, I wasn't taking it serious. So I thought I could do it all on my own. But this time I was serious. And so I paid out to work with a coach. I did not have the money. I'd gone bankrupt, remember. My credit was short, so I had to borrow. But I said to myself, this money is coming back to me. this money is coming back to me, because it felt like I was stealing from my children to pay for this thing. But I was determined. So when I hear people saying, oh, I just don't have the money, I know they're not determined yet, because I found a way. So can you. So anyway, by month 12, I did win myself a Porsche Boxer for being Businesswoman of the Year. By month 18, I was making multi-six figures, and I'd completely quit working as a pharmacist. And finally, a year later, I found the courage to deregister. So far, I haven't gone back. And yes, I did, because I started as a property person, but realized that that was just a sideways step. One of those things that you do when people tell you that's the quickest way to money. And it did, I made it work. And sometimes, actually, I won't lie, it can be easier to do something that isn't so personal to you. So property wasn't that personal to me. It was just follow the strategy, make the money. That's literally what I did. So I followed the strategy, I made the money. When I came to do, and this is what happens with a lot of people when you start doing your purpose work, you know the strategy, you just can't seem to do it. Why? Because it's so personal to you. It feels like if you fail at this, then you're failing completely. It's like you have to sell yourself. Whereas if it's a property, okay, either you want somewhere to live or you don't want somewhere to live. It was a light bulb that you were selling. Either you want a light or you don't want light. It's nothing to do with you. But you come into your own purpose-aligned business, it's everything to do with you. And you start making silly decisions, and you don't even realize you're making silly decisions. You start making decisions because you're trying to hide, but you are working so hard. You think that you're doing the right things. It's like people saying to me, oh, I really would rather, in fact, I had a client saying this to me, even just last week, that, oh, let me start with a class instead of working with people one-on-one, because, that might be better, blah, blah, blah. Logic at that point, it felt like, well, it'd be less cost, so I'll be able to sell more, and more people will come and join me. And that's what generally people are thinking to themselves. If I reduce my prices enough, then I'll have lots of people buy from me. But actually what's happening under the surface is that you're scared. You're scared that people are going to see you as a fraud. You're scared that you're an imposter. You're scared that people will not like what you have to offer them, especially if you're working with them as a coach or a healer or something like that they're going to see that you're not skilled enough. And so you think it'd be easier to deal with a crowd of people who are not looking to you specifically to help them specifically. So it'd be easier if you just sell to a lot of people instead of that one person who you're working with directly. And if it doesn't work, they could kill you or something. At least that's what your subconscious mind is telling you. Stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. Cheap, make everything cheap. And if you do not have someone telling you that this is happening, you will not realize that you're getting in your own way. And you'll be making your business so hard to grow, and you won't know you're doing it to yourself. I did this to myself for ages before I finally woke up to what the hell I was doing. I became the authority in my life. I took back dominion. And that's what my clients do. They take back dominion of their own life and their own affairs. They start paying attention to what is going on inside of them under the surface, the blocks that are getting in their way. And they also look at the strategies that they're working with. Is this actually going to work to get you where you want to go, or are you deceiving yourself? Now we're going to talk through the seven things you need to have in place in order to ensure that you are on your way to 5 to 10K months. So listen in, take notes. 1, have a goal. What is your goal? How much money? I cannot tell you the number of people I speak to on the phone who, when I ask them how much money they want to be making in 6 to 12 months, they have no idea. I just want to make some more money. Would $1 be enough? Would $1 more than what you're making right now, would that be enough? No? Okay, let's get clear. Because this clarity around how much money you want to make, what you would like to be helping people with, all of that clarity around that, particularly the money piece, will help you when it comes to pricing and things like that, because you will start to see if I'm trying to make 5 to 10K each month, or let's start with 5K. I want to make 5K each month. And you are now trying to sell products at $7 a piece. How many of those are you going to need to sell in order to get to 5K? Quite a lot. Do you have enough of an audience to sell that many to get to 5K? No? Then you either need to rethink your strategy or rethink your goal. I would suggest rethinking the strategy, right? Okay, because there is a way. I don't care what it is that you're selling, because you might think, okay, but I'm selling cosmetics or something. I can't price it at whatever. Although, honey, if you've gone into the cosmetic shops, there's all kinds of different pricing on cosmetics. So the choice actually is yours, though you might keep telling yourself that it's not. So set a goal. How committed are you to bringing that goal to life? Okay. Set a goal. Set a goal. Set an income goal. Set a how many people would I like to work with kind of goal. Be clear on what that is. This is where I start helping clients, is get very clear on what we're working towards. Okay. Now we want to know, what is the problem you're helping people solve? Because you're always helping people with something. That's why they're going to buy something from you. And they have to be aware of the problem that you're helping them solve. Okay. If it's just a nice to have, and then it's nice to have, it's also nice not to have, basically. So we want some kind of urgent, pressing problem that people really want a solution to. Okay. And they're aware of having the problem. Do you know that? Do you know what that problem is that you're solving for people? What is it that they're trying to get away from so badly that they're willing to come and work with you to solve that problem? You need to have that kind of urgency behind what you're offering. And there's lots of problems in the world, honey. And usually in the areas of money, health, or relationships, particularly if you're a service-based professional, a service professional, okay? Those three areas are really good. Of course, there's also things like people wanting to write their own book. There's car balloting, for goodness sake, depending on how you position it. There's all kinds of ways to position, even cosmetics. The way you position it is what can make the difference between making sales or not, okay? So you need to understand why people will buy from you. There needs to be something that they're very conscious of wanting to get away from, or really something they really want to get to. Most people are trying to get away from something and are more likely to act to get away from something than they are to just get to something. So think about that. You need to be able to very clearly, very simply describe how you can help them. After that, now that you know what problem it is that you're solving for people, have a package, your package and pricing needs to come together. So I'm speaking, I suppose, mostly to people with services that you want to put out there. Okay. Now, even if you've never done things like coaching, or you have spiritual wisdom and experiences and stuff, and you're helping people like in your community center or your religious organization, those skills can be translated into coaching or some kind of service. Again, if you can't see it, get help, so that people can show you, so that I can show you exactly how to take what you want to do and turn it into something marketable. We can put a package around it, okay? And as I've already kind of started to hint, we want to put a good price on it so that you're able to get to that 5K as quickly as possible. And then you can start putting that money back into your business to then start reaching more and more and more people. But to begin with, the fewer people you can reach for a bigger price, the better. It doesn't mean you have to start at 20 million. I'm going to charge some guy just because some person on the internet said, charge 20 million for my package. That's what I'm going to charge. No, I don't say that, but I do say that there are, if you're wise, and if you work with someone, if you don't know how to do this stuff, just work with someone, okay? Work with me. I can help you put a package around your skills, around what you want to do, as long as you're coachable, okay? Because I've had people who are so set on doing things in a certain way that they just don't want to hear any other way. And usually 4 or 5 years later, we're working together because it didn't work. Okay, I don't say that horribly, but I've seen that because I've been in this business now for like 10 years or something. I've seen that numerous times where people didn't want to do something with me 5 years ago and are still struggling along now and finally do. You don't need to be that person. Let's get on with it. Okay, coming back to package and price. Build from the top down. So as in sell the top priced things first, get to a certain income level before you start thinking about really cheap things, okay? Because that will help, one, stabilize your business so that you can then start reaching more and more people. So start with if only I had listened to this first, but I didn't know what I didn't know at that point, okay? So again, yes, build your business from top down. You don't only need like 1 or 2 offers, depending on what it is. Okay, if you're a product person, then yeah, we really need to have a conversation and then we'll see what we can do with your specific business. But particularly as a service professional, 1 or 2 packages mapped out will be enough, as long as you price them right and believe in yourself and what you're offering. And belief, certainty, it's a choice. You choose to be certain, or you choose to kind of wallow in self-doubt. I'm not sure I can do this. Oh my gosh, can I not? All of that stuff. The choice is yours. Okay. I would suggest that you start with one-on-one, particularly if you're a service professional. Start with one-on-one coaching, maybe with the option of group coaching. But if you've never done this before, I'd start with one-on-one, get to know people, get to know the general things that come for each of your clients. And then you can start positioning it, and you start putting together in a course or something like that. But start with one-on-one. It's the easiest way to get going. Yes, it's also the most confronting because it's just you and another person. So there's a part of you, as I said earlier, that might be a little bit, oh my gosh, they're going to see me as a fraud or whatever. But you'll be surprised that actually, unless you keep carrying yourself like you're a fraud, nobody will even think that of you at all, because people want help if you're confident enough to provide it. Okay, so I would suggest that with one-on-one. And then as you start bringing money into the business, start building out the rest of your business. But to begin with, to get yourself to that 5 to 10K as quickly as possible per month, then really to set a target. I'm going to get to 5K before I even start thinking about anything low cost. Really, that will serve you best. Okay, so once you have the package, you know who it is that you're serving. The next thing is to be visible. You need to get yourself out into the marketplace as quickly as possible. Choose a platform. You don't have to choose all of them. Choose a social media platform that you're going to reach people on. You don't have to dance around on TikTok. You can find a way to promote yourself using social media in a way that feels good to you. Lots of people are so worried about, oh, I don't know if I want to do videos. Now, if the only reason why you don't want to do a video is because you're scared of how you're going to come across, then that's something you need to overcome. But if you actually literally would rather find more different ways to promote yourself, again, it is possible. Okay. Don't just assume that just because all the only people you see doing things are all just out there on video doing a little bit of a dance or doing something, that doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. It's not the only way. And I've been known to work with clients to help them and find ways that feel good to them. Now, I won't allow fear to be the reason that you choose a methodology, but if it's not fear, if it really is genuine, this is what I prefer, then we can find a way around that, okay? Because, yeah, again, business growth can be quite predictable if you're willing to do clear strategies and put yourself out there really in a good way. Put yourself out there in a way that feels good to you as well, okay? So it's like, if you don't really want to do crazy amounts of videos and lots of content, use ads. Ads are a nice way to actually get yourself out there without crazy amounts of social media. Truthfully, they are, okay? That just takes a lot more testing and tweaking to ensure that your ads are profitable as quickly as possible. But it's possible to do that, particularly if you're willing to get on the phone with people one-on-one and actually have private conversations with people. You can use ads without doing too much social media. So there's all kinds of ways to be visible. Stop limiting yourself based on just because you saw the most visible people on social media and you thought that's everybody. No, there are people making money in all kinds of different ways. We can find a way that works for you, okay? But ultimately, whatever platform you choose to use, show up fully, speak in the language of the people that you want to help, create some content. You don't have to create lots and lots, particularly if you're using email and ads, then you're going to create emails, okay? You can do that, but every day in some way. Get yourself in front of more people than you did the day before. So start raising that visibility. I personally would try to use some social media, go into groups where there are already people communicating, go talk to them, respond to what they're asking. So where are your people? Go be where they are. If it's offline, go be where they are and communicate with them. Let people know that you exist, that your business is around. Put ads out where they are likely to see them so that people know that you exist. Do things like this, webinars like this, or masterclasses, whatever you want to call them. Do speaking engagements. Get yourself out there in a way that feels good to you, but in a way that is effective. There is a way for you to do it so you feel good and that people know you exist. That's I call communication. Find a way to communicate to people. Next, after that, you want to start growing that audience, okay? So as you're getting out there, people become aware of you, invite them into your world. I would have some kind of free giveaway that you're giving to people wherever you meet them. So whether you go to a trade show, whether you go to online, get people onto a mailing list, get their contact details, because most people will not be ready to buy from you immediately. So get them onto some kind of a contact list so that you can follow up with them until they're ready to buy. Then that free giveaway in some way is going to be connected to your products. It's like when I was doing the six-figure spiritual business accelerator, the book that people signed up for was a six-figure spiritual business book. The consultation was a six-figure spiritual business consultation, and the program was a six-figure spiritual business accelerator. So that way, it was when someone signed up for the book, then it's because they want a six-figure spiritual business, right? So then they're likely to want to work with me in the six-figure spiritual business accelerator. Not always, but that's the way it works. Right now, it's remove the blocks. So what I've discovered in all the work that I've done, in order for people to make that money, they need to remove the blocks to making the money. And some of the blocks include the practical lack of strategy or the internal lack of internal strategy, whichever way. So I have a book called Remove the Blocks. I have a consultation called Remove the Blocks. And I have a program called Remove the Blocks. So that it's very clear. When people join my world, they want to remove their blocks to making money. So therefore, but they're likely to want to work with me. Not everybody, of course. Some people are just going to come onto the list and never do anything with me. But there's at least more of a chance that the people who have signed up for the book are likely to want what I have to offer. So you can think about how to make that work for you. How can you make that work for you? Okay. So as I said, give them some kind of free giveaway, build that mailing list, use organic means, as in use free content, as well as advertising to get people to know that you exist and to join your mailing list and growing that audience. Sales. Every day, be asking for the sale. You cannot predict whether somebody's going to buy from you. You can't force anybody to buy anything from you, but you can completely control whether you every day ask for the sale from somebody, somewhere, somehow. You have complete control over that. Okay. So whether you're using email, whether you're speaking to people directly, you're sending them private messages, or you're speaking to people in the flesh. You have sales pages, you have sales posts, you have sales calls. You are in some way every day asking for the sale. Every day you are a business owner. Okay. You're a business owner. So every day in some way you're asking for the sale. That is absolutely essential. Yes, you may feel squeamish when you think of sales, but you need to change the way you see them, because actually the ability to sell someone on what you can help them with is a gift. It's a gift to them, and it's a gift to you. A gift to you because it may help you make money. It's a gift to them because it helps them get what they want. Okay, it helps them get what they want. That you are able to present your service in a way to a customer who really wants what you have, but is maybe wary. But you learn how to tell them so that they understand that it will help them, and they feel an urgency to get it, and then you help them. How is that not a service to them? You are doing them a favor. It's a gift to them. Do not hold back from being the person that really shows up for the people in your world. Okay. Don't just expect them to just be attracted to you because you prayed or you're affirmed enough. Be out there, do something to get people into your world and invite them to buy from you every single day. Do not go to bed unless you have in some way asked people to buy something from you. If you would do that, how can you not make more sales? How can you not make more money? How can you not reach 5K? Well, you could not reach 5K if you're not doing it to enough people and your pricing is rubbish, basically. But if you will learn strategies, and you put these simple ideas in place, business growth is predictable. It is predictable. Okay. And then it's just courage and consistency. Courage and consistency. Business growth is personal growth. It's spiritual growth, because it will demand so much from you. I was saying this to one of my daughters yesterday. Growing a vision, growing a dream, it demands everything from you. It does. You will need to sacrifice those things that don't mean as much to you in order to get what does. People get wary and worried about this because they're so worried, and they've been trained to believe that it is possible for you to fail. The only way you fail is if you quit. That's the only way you fail. Do you get that? Do you really get that? So you have complete control over whether you fail or not. Particularly if you work with someone to give you a clear strategy to move forward. Because again, business growth is predictable. It isn't a hit or miss. If you follow a clear strategy, it's like when I built particularly, that's what I said, it's only when you get emotionally crazy that it gets complicated. When I built my what's it called? property business, I wasn't emotionally invested in, as in, it was just like a job. It was just like being a pharmacist. I knew, like, to become a pharmacist, I needed to do a certain amount of study, do my internship. They'll give me a certificate as long as I pass that exam, learn whatever I need to pass that exam, which was the scariest exam of my life. And I become a pharmacist. When I did property, same thing. If I follow this strategy, do this, and this way, do it enough time, be consistent over a period of time, the money is going to keep on growing. And that's it. It's only when I came into becoming a coach, doing my purpose aligned work, that it wasn't quite as straightforward, because I got really emotional about it. But as soon as I realized what was happening, worked with people to help me see where I was getting on stupid, because I was allowing my emotions to make decisions for me rather than acting on my goals, then it became predictable again. And that's where you need help. Okay. But anyway, courage and consistency, daily. Are you more concerned about what people will think of you than you are the growth of your business? I was more concerned about what people will think of me than I was the growth of my business. So my business didn't grow and people liked me. But I was broke and getting broken and getting more burnt out because I was trying to give everything away because I wanted people to like me so much. I really wanted them to really like me. And it's such an insidious thing. You don't even realize that you're doing it. And you will cloak it in spiritually. It's, oh, I want to be in alignment. I don't want to be too pushy. I want to be nice. Nonsense. And unless somebody tells you, you won't realize that it's nonsense. Or you'll get into so much pain that you'll finally realize, oh yeah, I remember Rosemary saying this on that masterclass that day. Okay, so do you have a goal? Both impact and income. Do you have a package? Have you priced it well? Are you visible in the marketplace? Are you growing your audience daily? Are you selling daily? Are you consistent? Are you courageous? Those are the things. If you will do those things, you have a strategy that actually works. Now, yes, of course, in your specific business, you probably need a personalized strategy. But with what I've told you here, if you sat down and if you could just get away from the emotions of it all and sat down and clearly asked yourself these questions. Do I have a goal? What is my goal? Do I know who it is that I'm serving? Do I know the problem that I'm solving for them? What is the package? Have I priced it in such a way that I can get to 5 to 10K months without killing myself? Am I visible in the marketplace? Am I growing my audience daily? Every day is more people getting to know who I am? Is my mailing list growing every single day? Am I selling every single day? Am I telling people how they can buy something from me every single day? Am I being consistent with this every single day? Am I being courageous? Am I showing up fully, or am I hiding? How do you think you're doing with all of that stuff? Because as I keep saying, business growth, it is predictable. As the divine said to me, it's simple, it's easy, it's swift. And I really got so angry with the divine when he said this to me, but I realized it's true. It's true. It's just that we get so emotional when it comes to money that you stop seeing clearly what needs to happen. And you make things so difficult for yourself. And it doesn't have to be that way. Again, let me remind you, your vision is your permission. You are very capable of your calling. You are the authority in your life. Your obstacles, some of them anyway, is going to be fear. I've mentioned a lot about this, okay? You might also think that you're called and targeted, or you're called to target and serve only broke people. So I have had people on the phone to me, and these days I say to people very bluntly, they come and I want to start this non-profit to help homeless people or whatever. Great. But then I ask them, are you actually in the position to not earn money right now? Most people are not, but they're immediately, again, trying to be a nice person as opposed to a profitable person. And you might think that makes sense because you've been programmed to think, oh, money is bad. It's bad when you don't have it. You know that, right? And that's why you're so afraid of getting to the point where you do not have it. And yet you don't allow yourself to build a business that has it. Wake up to what you're doing to yourself. Staying stuck in a job that you hate because you're too scared to start a business that would make you money. And so you convince yourself that, oh, it's not, whatever story you're telling yourself, aren't you done with this? You do not have to live unfulfilled and financially restricted. It's a choice. It's a choice you're making. Okay? You are not called to serve just broke people who don't have money. You are choosing to serve those people. But you don't have to, and you will be in a better position to help people when you've got yourself to a position of strength. Okay? You might think that purpose alone pays the bills. I've seen spiritual people thinking, oh, well, I'm living in my purpose, so that should be enough. No, it's not. Without strategy, you won't move forward. Some people are really scared of putting a strategy behind their purpose because they think they're not supposed to make money from their God-given talents or gifts, or that God in some ways doesn't want them to do this. Nonsense. Nonsense. The divine doesn't want you to be broke. So don't use the divine as an excuse to stay stuck. But this is the stuff that is in your psyche getting in the way. Are you done with allowing it to keep you from your destiny? You might claim to follow intuition, but actually, a lot of spiritual people only do the parts of their intuition that feel comfortable. And then they say, oh, I wasn't intuitively guided to do that. No. You're listening to your fear and telling yourself that it's intuition. No. Intuition expands. Fear constricts, restricts, makes you small. Aren't you done with playing this small game? You might be paying attention to everybody else's agenda, except not your own. This is where people are give to everybody except themselves. Aren't you fed up and done with that? Okay? Or you're telling yourself, I have no time, I have no money, everybody needs me, maybe in a little while, I'll do it then. Or instant gratification. If it doesn't work in 1 second or 1 month, then it must never work. And that means, I'm not cut out for this, or what's the point? Nonsense. You took how long to get you to where you are right now? And you think everything's going to change in 1 month? You know what? You can be making money in 1 month. Absolutely, you can. It depends on where you're starting from. Absolutely, you can. But to think that you're going to overcome decades of weird thinking in 1 week, now that's craziness. And yet we do it all the time. Oh, well, it didn't work for me. It worked for that person because they were telling you how, people telling testimonies of how they went from 0 to 7 million. They don't tell you how long it took. They don't tell you all the challenges they went through. They don't tell you where they started from. They just give you the highlights of the story. You believe the story. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying that, there's a growth. This is growth. There's a growth process. You're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you'll go here and then you'll go down there and then you'll go and then you'll go down. And it's the person who keeps getting back up and keeps moving forward is the one who wins. The rest quit along the way, not because they had to, but because they chose to. Do not be one of those people. And don't make excuses about no time, no money. When you're really determined to do something, you will find time and you will find money. You will. Absolutely, you will. If you had to find money, you find a way to do it. You do. And if you really are in that position where you can't, well, you need this even more than somebody else. You need to do something different because obviously it's got you to a really bad place. So you need to do something different. You can't keep using that as a reason not to move forward. You just can't. You'll worry about what people will think of you. Enough of that. Self-doubt. You think the divine doesn't support you, comparing yourself to people who are further along than you, or being way too comfortable in your current existence, even though you know you're meant for more, or pitying yourself. I sometimes call this a firstborn disease. this whole your matter. If you laid down your life for everybody else and now nobody's there for you. And I get it. I've even said that. I'm not even a firstborn, and I've said things like that myself. But it's the choice you've made. And now you get to choose again. You get to choose again. Or being jaded because you've tried and you failed. The story hasn't ended until you decide the story has ended. You are the authority in your life. Do you get that? You have dominion over your affairs. The divine is waiting for you to seriously decide that you will not quit. That's the only way you succeed, loves. You have so much power, so much authority. You just seem to forget this. And it's time to wake up. The sad thing is you probably don't realize that you're doing this to yourself. Or your beliefs, your current beliefs at the moment cause you to hold on to nonsense. Are you ready to break through? Are you ready to break through to 6 months to 6 figures, to 5 to 10K months? Because you need a mentor, honey. You need a mentor. Why? Because you do have those blind spots. You're starting and you're stopping and you're starting and you're stopping and you're starting and you're stopping and you're losing focus. You're asking the wrong people for advice. They haven't done it and you're somehow asking them. They don't know. They haven't gone through the hard slog and stayed the course, and you're asking them for advice. Are you kidding me? You tell yourself lies as well, and you believe those lies as well. You need an objective viewpoint. You need accountability. You need focus. You need a sounding board. Okay. You need a clear, personalized strategy for you to grow your business. You need someone to spot when you're going off track. For me, I know mentors, coaches changed my life, but it never came at a perfect time for me. I had to choose to do it when it seemed illogical, but I had to choose between, am I going to keep doing what I know wasn't working for me? Or was I going to follow the divine prompting? Because usually there was a resonance inside of me that said, you need to work with this person or put me in the path of somebody. And it was never at a convenient time. Let's just be honest. It was never at a convenient time. Sometimes it was pretty dang scary. And I used to have these conversations with the divine saying, what do you mean? Pay what? 35,000? Are you kidding me? And I wish I could say that, as soon as I paid that 35,000, 70,000 came back. No, sometimes after paying that money, it took years for that money to come back through. But I didn't quit. I knew that whatever I'd invested was freaking coming back because I was never going to stop. Do you have that kind of determination? Have you made that kind of decision? Because that kind of decision is what changes everything for you. So yeah, when you go and work with coaches, you don't become one of those people that say, they didn't tell me anything. When I started making multi-six figures in my property business, the coach I was working with, there were 40 of us in a class, or in the class, I started in the class. And lots of them dropped out for complaining. This person didn't give me this, and that person didn't do this, and the coach didn't do that. He said he was going to do this. And the same things that I was being taught that I used to make multi-six figures were what people were moaning about. Because before I came in and made a decision, thankfully I had a friend who said to me, Rosemary, you are responsible for your own growth. If you're expecting this guy to be everything to you, he won't be. You need to take the ideas and run with them. And that was what I did. Whatever ideas he gave me, I ran with it. It was one of the hardest years of my life, I'm not going to lie, because it challenged me. It challenged me. As I said, I was programmed to be an employee. I was programmed to just do what I'm told in a job all my life. So to start my own business, it demanded a lot from me. It challenged my way of thinking. So yeah, I had to take full responsibility. If I was waiting for him to be my magic and my miracle, I would have still been waiting to this day. I took what he gave me and I made it work. I made it mine. And I asked questions. I got the support I needed. Whereas others were moaning and groaning and complaining. I won the Porsche Boxster. I made my money back. I've gone on to do other things. Some of them are probably still in jobs, still wishing for that miraculous financial freedom that will drop in their lap. It's possible for you, but you're going to need to make a big decision and get help. Because to get to work with this guy, I used credit. I borrowed. I didn't even have credit at that point because I'd just gone bankrupt, remember? So I borrowed and I freaking committed. If I'd waited until I could fit it into my chaotic life or my capped budget, I would still be waiting to this day. So question for you. Are you currently running a business, but not yet making the money you would like to make in profits, even though you want to make at least 5K a month, at least that? Or are you ready now to transition into your own business? And do you want to be making at least 5 to 10K within a year of starting that business? And are you ready now to invest time, energy, and money? So either you're in business or you're ready to get going right now. And you're ready now to invest time, energy, and money to create the business that you love, doing what you love, okay? And you would like support to make it so. If that's you, then I have something free for you right now. Come and let's talk in the Remove the Blocks consultation, okay? If you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you're everywhere else, it's rosemarynonnyknight.com. In fact, everywhere. It's rosemarynonnyknight.com/remove blocks, okay? We will have a consultation. It will take around about 25 minutes or so, where we'll get crystal clear clarity on your vision for your business, your income goals, all of that. We will uncover any hidden challenges that could be getting in the way and stopping you from moving forward. And you will leave that session feeling a heck of a lot clearer on your next steps to making that money and feeling empowered and inspired. I can't tell you the number of people that come away from that consultation just saying, Rosemary, just even having this conversation with you has helped me see things so clearly. You will come away feeling that way too. You will also sometimes be triggered because I'm blunt. As long as you're willing to hear what I'm saying, I will tell you very clearly what needs to happen next, okay? And so you'll know also whether working with me will help things move forward for you. You'll be very clear on all of that. So if you would like to have that conversation with me, it's a free consultation. It takes about 25 minutes to, I'd like to say, let's say 25 minutes and see how we go. It takes about that time. We'll have this conversation. you will come away from that conversation feeling a heck of a lot better than you came in. And yeah, we'll decide whether we want to work together to make your business, make you at least 5 to 10K every single month. As long as you're coachable and teachable and willing to be honest, let's have that conversation. So if you're ready to break through to 5 to 10K months now, let's have that conversation. As I say, it's at rosemarynonniknight.com/remove blocks. Looking forward to having a conversation with you. Until the next time, my loves, much amazing love. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you this evening. Bye.